Hey graphic arts students, welcome back. This is going to be my first video showing you guys some tutorials on how we're going to be completing work in this class from now on by using Photopea.com. So we're going to be doing a practice assignment to kind of like help you guys navigate the Photopea website and understand how to create documents and create artwork using it. So to get to Photopea, there's a couple of ways you can do this. You can start in a browser window in the search bar and just type in photopea.com and it may auto-populate for you or it may not. And you're just going to click right here if it drops down or hit enter, and that will direct you right to the website. You can also access it by going to Google Classroom, where I've posted it under assignments. It's going to be called Photopea Practice, and the link for Photopea should be right there. And clicking on that link will open up that browser for you automatically. So here it is. This is Photopea. It's a website. It's not a program that you download or an app that you have to install. All you have to do is type in the address and it takes you right here, just like if you were opening a Photoshop document. And you may notice there's a lot of similarities, a lot of similar tools and words that you remember seeing in Photoshop. So hopefully this should be a pretty smooth transition to using this program. So the first thing you want to do is open a new document, and you can either go to File, New, or you can go right down here to where it says New Project and click, and that will open a document settings window for you to adjust the size of the document that you are creating. There's lots of templates that they allow you to choose from if you're creating something, but right now we want to focus on creating a blank document to do our practice. We're going to name it first because, of course, that's important. And the one thing about Photopea that is different from Photoshop that I've noticed is that you cannot adjust or edit the name in the program while you're working on it. You basically have to save it and then change the name from your computer. So it's just easiest to go ahead and name it correctly from this point, so that way you don't have to go back and deal with that later. So we're going to name this your name, your first and last name, and then practice. All right. Next, we're going to adjust the size of this, and I don't care what size you make this first practice. You guys can mess around and play with whatever you want, but to adjust your size, you're going to look at your drop-down options. You can choose pixels, percent, millimeter, inches. I suggest going with something you're familiar with. You can adjust the width and the height, switch them up by kind of just clicking this button. DPI is dots per inch. This affects how big of a file this is going to be. And of course, you want your background to be white. There is a bunch of templates that you can choose from all of these presets. So these are just sizes that you might be familiar with, like a Facebook page cover, YouTube profile picture. If you go to print, they'll have different print sizes. If you go to photo, they'll have different photo sizes. I tend to be most familiar with photo sizes, so I'm going to choose that. I'm going to pick 5x7, and I'm going to go ahead and click Create. You want to make sure that you're starting with a blank document with a white background, and that should be good. The first thing that you'll notice is that you'll have the toolbar and the layers window, just like in Photoshop. And you'll also notice that if you hover over each of your tools, a little bar will pop up with a description of the name of the tool and the little shortcut key that you can use to access it, just like in Photoshop. So this is a really good way to start getting familiarized with the different tools and what they're called and what they do. For this practice, I just want you guys to doodle on this picture. It doesn't have to be anything in particular, but I want you guys practicing using tools and different techniques in Photopea, just to get you guys familiar with how the program works. It's very similar to Photoshop. has some of the very same tools. You'll notice if you go to the shape tool, you can choose a different color and create a shape. And that's going to create a shape on a different layer every time you create a shape. You can create new layers by clicking down here to the new layer button, and you can continue working on top of those layers that you just created. So play around with the brush tool, play around with the move tool. You click the move tool and click on one of your shapes. Make sure transform controls is selected, and you should be able to move that shape around. Once you are done doodling with your practice, I want you guys to save your file, and you're going to do that by clicking on File. And we're going to save as a PSD first, because this is basically short for Photoshop document, and this allows you to open this document and continue working on it. You'll have all the layers that you created, and you'll be able to keep working on it just as you had been before. So we're going to save that. If you want to save this as a smaller file and you're finished with it, you can go to File, Export As, and then you can choose what kind of file you want to save it as. I usually recommend JPEG or JPG. That's the easiest, most universal picture file, so you can save it as a JPEG as well. All right? It's going to give you like a little bit of extra options for saving. Just hit Save, and that will also download to your device. If you're using a PC, this will either be located in your download file or your documents file. It should be pretty easy to find it as long as you've named it correctly. If you're using a Chromebook, this should automatically save to your Google Drive, which will make it really easy for you to upload it. Once you've saved it, you're going to go back to Google Classroom. For this assignment, Photopea Practice, you're going to click View Assignments, and you're going to find the Add or Create button, and that's going to give you the option of uploading this document that you just created to Google Classroom and turning it in. And that's basically it. That's all I'm asking you guys to do for right now. Play around with Photopea. Doodle, practice doing something. You can make something simple or you can make something really elaborate. The important thing is you are just simply showing me that you are able to access Photopea. You're able to create a document, use some of the tools, save it, and turn it into Google Classroom. So have fun and let me know if you have any questions.